All right, I'm Aloysius Pointer. I'm going to be giving a speech about my right to wear a helmet, be my persuasive speech. Okay. Thank you all for attending. By show of hands, how many of us like being told what to do? Nobody, right? All right. How many of us take solace in someone telling us what to do, even though it could benefit us? So nobody, right? All right. So by show of hands, how many people ride a motorcycle in here? No one? All right, that's okay. I myself ride a motorcycle, and though compulsory laws say I have to ride with a helmet, I don't appreciate being told what to do, even though it's for my own benefit. The law says that you have to wear a helmet when you're riding a motorcycle, and that this is for your safety. Although most people just don't like being told what to do because they feel that being told what to do, even though it may be for my own benefit, is an infringement on my own individual rights. Over the next 8 to 10 minutes, we're going to talk about the different types of helmets, how helmet laws came to be, brief history on that, and then an argument for wearing the motorcycle helmet and the compulsory laws, the opponents for the compulsory laws against wearing a helmet. Let's start by identifying the different types of helmets. Right? The first type of helmets are the novelty type of helmets. These are the type of helmets that are usually not approved by the Department of Transportation. They usually are in some sort of design, such as with the propeller hat or the propeller helmet. They have funky little graphic designs on them, but they're usually, again, not approved by the Department of Transportation for safety. The half-shell helmet, as seen here, is usually approved by the Department of Transportation, and you can tell by looking on the back and seeing the DOT sticker. Some of these helmets will also have the Snell approved sticker, which is also an additional added benefit, although it's not legally required for safety. The half shell does afford some protection, but it does not afford protection for the face. The open face helmet, which is not shown here, usually offers more protection than the half shell. It is also usually approved by the Department of Transportation, although the added drawback to that is it usually does not provide any type of eye protection. So you'll have to wear glasses or goggles yourself to provide that type of eye protection. The modular helmet, which is usually a combination of the full face helmet and the open face helmet, is usually approved by the Department of Transportation. Its added benefit is, though, it is versatile. It can be worn as a full face helmet or it can be worn as an open face helmet in hotter seasons. The full face helmet affords the maximum protection for a rider. It's usually approved by the Department of Transportation, as you can tell in the back. Again, always look for that sticker. It encompasses the entire head and the face, and it usually comes with built-in eye protection that can be lifted up and changed, and some may even come with some sort of tinted visor to protect your eyes from the sun and shield them. Now that we've discussed the different types of helmets, let's talk briefly a bit about the type of history and how motorcycle laws became to be. In the 1930s, Hugh Carnes, a very successful British neurosurgeon, was operating on a fellow British Army officer dispatch writer named Thomas Edward Lawrence. You may know him as Lawrence of Arabia. He appeared in certain films. He was also in the war. And he was on a dispatch ride. He was riding in the country, and something was in the road, and it caused him to crash his motorcycle. When he crashed, he ended up in the hands of Hugh Carnes, who was doing surgery on him. T.E. Lawrence later died from head injuries that were very extensive. This persuaded Hugh Carnes to start persuading the Army to make dispatch riders wear motorcycle helmets, which in turn cascaded and started making states provide compulsory laws for motorcycle riders to wear motorcycle helmets. Now that we've talked a little bit about the history, let's talk a bit about the people who are in favor of compulsory laws. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 4,500 motorcycles make up 14% of all traffic deaths, but they only provide about 1% of all miles traveled by motor vehicles on our national highways. 12% are fatally injured while not wearing helmets in those compulsory states, as opposed to the 75% that are injured while in compulsory states that don't require you to wear a helmet. For those who are in favor of the compulsory the compulsory laws for wearing a helmet, this provides some sort of a public health issue, right? Those in favor feel that it's society's burden and responsibility to make sure that people who are riding and taking risks provide some sort of protection for themselves by, e.g., for example, wearing a motorcycle helmet and keeping themselves safe while they're doing this. If they're not able to take their own responsibility to provide protection for themselves, then it is our responsibility to ensure that they provide protection for themselves. They also feel that motorcyclists are selfish. They don't think about the people that they hurt. They only think about themselves being injured, but they forget about the loved ones and family members who become burdened by trying to provide long-term care for them after they've been injured. So they feel that motorcyclists who choose to not wear a helmet are being selfish. Financially, according to the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration, motorcyclists cost a society millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care, such as those traumatic brain injuries that they sustain when not wearing a helmet when they become involved in a motor vehicle accident. In addition, they rarely have adequate medical insurance to cover those costs, so then it is your burden as society to pick up and provide financial costs for their long-term medical care and needs. The opponents of compulsory laws feel it is an individual right to provide protection for themselves. All right, it is my brain, then it is my right. All right, such as a woman who would feel it is my body, then it is my right for an abortion. They also feel that laws only lead to more laws. Today you're telling me I have to wear a helmet. Tomorrow you're telling me I have to do something else. So laws only lead to more laws. Those who are opponents to compulsory laws feel that better training is what we need, not more compulsory laws, but more mandatory training. Mandatory training will provide those beginning or novice riders with the necessary skills to prevent themselves from becoming involved in a motor vehicle accident. Just as well, training will also identify those who are not proficient in riding a motorcycle and prevent them from becoming licensed and riding motorcycles in the first place, so that these riders won't be on the road endangering themselves and others. In addition to, mandatory training also teaches good habits, so thereby those who graduate from motorcycle training classes will then develop safer habits and safer skills for riding. They also feel, in a public health standpoint, that young riders who take risks are good organ donors. They haven't had time for their organs to become corrupted over time, so that their loss is your gain. Those who are waiting on for kidneys and livers and hearts and eyes can then benefit from their loss. They also feel that these risky behaviors are involved in free choice. So just by telling me I have to wear a helmet doesn't make me a safer rider. It would be those mandatory training and that mandatory classes that would provide a safer attitude and promote safer driving, which would save my life. So now that we've talked at length about the type of motorcycle helmets, how the laws came to be, and the arguments for and against, it is up to you to make your own decision. But just remember this, in the end, it would be your decision. And that's what opponents of compulsory motorcycle laws are asking. Allow me to make my own decision. I'm Alexis Pointer, and this has been my speech on my right to wear a helmet. I thank you for your attention, and I hope that you have a nice day. At this time, are there any questions?